What is it?
The woman is still hunched over the keyboard, gently illuminated by the purring machine. Suna the programmer. I didn't break anything, did I?
No, you just printed out my personal log and wasted some paper.
It does not look like a big loss to her. Okay, that's good. Are you the lead programmer of Whirl Untethered, by any chance? Sorry, but who are you? What are you doing here? Maybe she is.
Yes. Or no, not anymore. That project is dead.
But why do you still have that repeating station set up for the game then?
She doesn't seem surprised to be recognized. Rather sad.
Oh.
Something passes over her face before she straightens her back.
Sorry, but who are you? What are you doing here?
I am Soona Luukkanen-Kilde, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident and RSA radios. I have over 16 years of programming experience, and I'm proficient in both Vox and Orbis languages.
Those sound like made-up languages to me, and I am a computer programmer. Suna Luukkanen... I'm totally gonna massacre that. Suna.
If you're not here to hire me, I don't really know how I can help you.
She turns back to the terminal.
Did she say over 16 years of experience? She must have started programming when she was still a teenager.
Have you seen the Crabman?
Nope.
But you know he's around.
Yes.
Okay, she's very to the point. Sounds like you're not worried about him at all.
No, you're right. I'm not.
Her voice trails off as she bends over to tinker with the machine's printer. Why are there so many machines in this place?
I brought them here. These are my machines. Please don't touch anything.
So she's interested in studying this phenomenon, right? Why do you need an antenna? Point to it.
I use the AR1 as my RAIM prefix processing unit.
I don't understand.
RAIM prefect is my radio computer.
RAIM prefect. And that antenna is its processing unit?
Yes? You really don't know anything about radio computers, do you?
She has stopped working now. I don't really know much about anything in this world, to be honest. I know a little.
All right. Well, all radio computers perform operations up on air. So in order to gain more processing power, you need to invest in a good antenna.
Huh, okay. Wait, what's on air?
On the front, the unified front of radio waves, licensed and controlled by Lintel in the East Insulindic region.
It's like literally the cloud.
It's all around us. That's what on air means.
Like love.
Aw, thank you, conceptualization. I love you too. And the AR1, is it a good antenna?
I guess it is. So far, I've been quite satisfied with it. Martinez is an unstable region with bad coverage, and the operation has been surprisingly stable. But it's not the cheapest one on the market, so I wouldn't recommend it for your regular red tape operations. Fraser 1000 is a foolproof line for civilians.
Oh yes, the Fraser 1000. I have experience with that.
Anyway, you should do some research before you decide to buy anything. Ask around, compare the prices. There are many milieus dedicated to that sort of thing.
She clearly hasn't really looked at us. Do we look like a computer programmer? Actually, we kind of do look like a computer programmer.
She liked telling me this. It calmed her
Okay,
nerves.
okay, cool. We disarmed her. What are you doing with your radio computer?
I'm working.
I guess that makes sense. It's a radio computer, right?
The machine seems almost alien with its pulsing core. The light casting her face in a strange shadow.
Working on what?
Could you just shh for a moment? Or get to the point. I really need to focus on something.
What about those bowls of water over there?
They are connected to my RAIM prefect. Whatever you do, just please don't move them, okay? Thanks.
That's pronounced RAIM prefect. Thank you very much. Prefect. You gotta roll those R's, Suna.
Short and terse. There you have it. Whatever she's using them for, they're hers.
Right, I'll try not to touch anything. Next question.
Great.
She dwells back into the glowing terminal. What are you doing in an abandoned church?
You really like those questions, don't you?
Hint of amusement in her tired eyes. Police officer, it's my job to ask questions. You're occupying a public space. I need to know what you're doing here. There have been complaints from your neighbors. That's our job to ask questions. You're a police officer.
I'm conducting scientific research here. You can't throw me out.
I didn't say anything about throwing you out. She says, ready to stand her ground. What research?
I'm looking for the location of a 2mm hole in the world.
Oh, God. I love this concept.
Wait, what? She's looking for a disruption in the radio waves. That's what her personal log said.
Right. It's been a few days.
The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything.
It's the hole connected to the data loss in your journal.
Yes, that's what led me here. But I suspect it might be something a bit more complicated than that.
She stares at the burnished antenna on the nearby table. We're here, I guess. A hole in the world. What does that mean exactly?
Exactly. What does it mean? Up to now, it has been impossible to say what it is because it's impossible to measure nothing.
There's something frantic about her as she locks her gaze with you, eyes shining like pearls. She's like me. She's so interested in this idea.
What do you think it is? What qualities does nothing have? How do you measure something that does not exist?
She's suddenly absorbed in the conversation, waiting for your answer.
That's a little above your pay grade at the moment.
Got a few options here. Hold on a moment. Does it mean we're now living in a world that has holes in it? I can't even understand how we're talking about something that doesn't exist, let alone measure it. I don't know. I'm not here for some science. I just want to solve a murder so I can go home. We're definitely going with the first one. Hold on a moment. Does it mean we're now living in a world that has holes in it?
I don't know. Are we? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. But how do I figure it out?
I can't even understand what we're talking about. Something that doesn't exist, let alone measuring
You
it.
measure it by its surroundings. By that which does exist.
Yeah.
Which is what I've been trying to do. I've tried using hydro transducers to record the silence. To find out where it begins.
I was going to say, if you know of all the things that exist around it, then you understand more about the thing that doesn't exist.
But honestly, it's not progressing very well.
She grows silent, staring at her circle of basins. It looks like some ancient ritual.
But does it have anything to do with necroplasmic life forms? Ghosts, in everyday parlance.
Okay, so we've got a lot of options here. Does it have anything to do with ghosts, if we're going to go with Inland Empire? Do you have any idea where this hole might be located? You said that the research isn't going well. Why not? That's all I wanted to know about the scary 2mm hole in the world for now. Ghosts.
Ghosts? No, I don't think so. I don't believe in ghosts.
What about other supernatural entities?
I don't believe in them either.
What not many know is necroplasma exists.
Great. What are we talking about? And why?
She gets back to work, a clear signal that this branch of the conversation is over. For someone who's so curious, you think she'd be a little bit more open-minded. Do you have any idea where this hole might be located?
Somewhere underneath those roof beams, I assume.
She looks up, eyes trying to pierce the pitch-black heights above, without much success.
Only a faint crisscross of rafters can be made out from the dark. Most of the tower disappearing into the shade.
This is what the Spider-Man was talking about. They couldn't use Spider-Man because, you know, Disney and Marvel a little bit heavy-handed with the copyright infringement.
Strange things may flourish in the dark.
Because this crab man doesn't make any sense. Crabs don't climb up into rafters. Why there?
There's this place at the back of the church. A place where all audible vibrations seem to cease. I've named it the Swallow. And the higher you go, the less you record.
The Pillar of Silence? Are you sure it's not just an architectural quirk?
Maybe, but it's oddly close to the physical coordinates of the data loss that led me to this place.
This is where the Crabman lives.
I know.
You don't think Crabman might be somehow responsible here?
No, I don't.
She sounds mildly annoyed by this line of questioning. Her hands typing hundreds of commands into the machine.
I feel like Suna and Kim are kind of made for each other. But Kim's mine. She can't have him. You said that the research isn't going well. Why not?
Because it's just trial and error. Trying to locate the Swallow, the exact point in space. And I don't have a... You know what? It would be really helpful if you could just stop talking and let me work.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know about the scary 2mm hole in the world for now.
Great. Thanks.
Hey, about that 2mm hole again. How do you feel about anodic dance music?
What? I hate it.
Oh.
I bet she hasn't even heard it.
Have you even listened to it? Like, actually listened? We got, what are you, 40? It's the future of dance music. Okay. Same here. It just doesn't connect here. Tap on your heart. Not like disco does, anyway. Okay, wow, that was quick. Why do you hate it? I like this one the most.
Maybe I'd have to be on drugs to get it, but to a sober mind it just sounds like uninspired rug whipping. No idea what it has to do with either dancing or music.
Right, right. But how do you feel about a club for anodic dance music? Anodic.
This is about those speed freaks in the tent, isn't it? I've got some news for you. It's not a nightclub they want to build here.
Wait, what do they want to build then?
Take a guess, why don't you?
A youth center would be nice. A petting zoo, a place for animals. Is this the place where Everart wants to build this youth center? Quotation marks. I'm still convinced they want to establish a nightclub for anodic dance music. They said it's their dream.
I can't believe they got you so easily. Go have another talk with those up-and-coming entrepreneurs, will you? Thanks.
Oh.
Good luck. I'm not coming in there.
Oh, okay. Is there something else I can ask about the hole?
The swallow, you mean?
No,
Great.
there's nothing. Okay,
Thanks.
I'll let you work in peace for now. Guess we have to go back and talk to them? Estelle refused to talk about her friends. Maybe she'll open up later after you've helped them set up the nightclub. Do I even want to help them set up the nightclub? I don't know if I do. It's not disco. Sync the signs. No, he doesn't want to talk to you. The signs are not in sync. Guess you need to help him and his friends out somehow. Prove that you're one of the crew. Who knows what he'll tell you. We were starting a nightclub. Tell Andre about Suna's thoughts on the nightclub. I guess we're done in the church for now? What's going on here?
In white, silver, and apricot faience, the young mother of humanism stands above you. A crack runs across her body. She is impossibly tall, oval-faced and sad, a dark and radiant majesty. This is her innocence, Dolores Day. Cradled in her arms are a pair of glowing lungs, clearly visible from underneath her flowing dress. You should kneel.
Okay. Kneel.
Your knees touch the floor. The floorboards are hard and cold. There you kneel among the snowdrifts, diffuse light falling on your hands from beyond the glass.
We're gonna look up.
The woman looks down at you kneeling. She towers among her followers, architects, laymen, courtiers. There is a sad smile on her lips and a glint in her green-blue eye of what? Compassion? Remorse? She acknowledges the passing of someone who is still alive. You.
What? Oh, okay. Acknowledge the passing of someone who is still alive. You. Compassion, remorse, mourning. I say compassion.
As that soft word passes through your mind, the lieutenant draws an X-shaped cross from shoulder to shoulder.
Oh, he's religious also. Do the same as you get up. Not that I'm saying I'm religious. I just feel like it felt like we were compelled to do this.
Your fingertips touch your chest 4 times. Then you rise from your knees into the apricot-colored light of the window. Above you, the woman still smiles her distant smile, sundered by the crack in the glass.
This is Dolores Day.
The old woman in the village was right. This must be the Delorean Church of Humanity in Martinez, or the small Pinewood Church in some records.
You knew of the place?
It's a minor landmark, not easy to find. Most maps misplace it. It was built not long after Revachol's founding, 300 or so years ago, by first-generation settlers.
What else do you know?
There used to be 7 stave churches on the coast. Les Sept Sœurs, they call them. The 7 Sisters. Only one remains. The rest were burnt in the revolution or used for building materials. We should be respectful here, although the building appears to be deserted. I do not believe we'll find anything connected to the lynching here. Something else, perhaps?
He looks at the machinery lying around. I think I did this in the opposite order you're supposed to do this in. Feels like.
Respectful? Is the lieutenant a follower of Delorianism?
Maybe he just is aware of it and he's just paying respect, but...
There it is again. A small pang of guilt. It's time to ask him what happened here.
Do you know why it was abandoned?
I have a theory, yes. There was a police raid a while back. I heard the place was shot to pieces. The old woman in the village was being tactful with us when she didn't mention it. She has more respect for the RCM than many around here.
Who conducted this raid?
Well, your station was involved, I hear, although I can't be sure.
How come the lieutenant isn't sure? Is this confidential information?
You're not sure.
3 precincts were involved in the raid, and people say Precinct 41 was one of them.
I don't remember being here.
I am pretty sure it was a clandestine operation. I don't know anything more about it, why it was conducted, or who participated. I try not to pry into extra-district matters.
Well, it's possible that like a gang was set up here, right? Isn't that the other guy was part of a gang before? If I was here, I should find out what I was doing.
Good luck. You will not get information on a confidential operation from your station secretary just by calling. If you really don't remember, it might be better to keep this one forgotten.
Oh.
It happened a while ago. It's unimportant to our business in Martinez now.
Kim, are you a follower of Delorianism? Time travel?
Yes, we all are. Her name, body, and rule are synonymous with humanism. The laws we enforce are Delorian in origin.
This is exactly, how I basically just responded.
The woman looks by in silence, smiling enigmatically.
I didn't think you were spiritual.
It's not spiritual, it's constitutional. The Delorian system does not demand faith, only accordance.
Very logical approach. How did I know this is the mother of humanism? Encyclopedia, 42%. Visual calculus, reconstruct the cracked glass, 42. Oh, we've got the die. Okay, let's try... I'm not going to change clothing. This is a white check, so we're going to take a chance here. How did I know this is the mother of humanism?
Despite the damage you've done to yourself, the title appears lodged in your hippocampus. This is her Innocence, Dolores Day. The innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. Perhaps the most famous human being ever to have lived.
Aside from us.
No amount of Commodore Red can wipe her sad smile from your brain thing. It has survived the deluge and haunts you still, and will haunt you forever, as it haunts all men.
Wait, what exactly is an innocence? I've heard of the system. Okay, when did she rule? What else do I know about her? I want more. Was there something terrifying about her? To hell with this. I guess I'll just start from the middle. What else do I know about her?
Many things. You know she was a woman of the court, the wife of an influential Marchese, and eventually the principal advisor to Irene la Navigateur, Queen of Serene, modern-day Sir Luckless. Also, that she was gorgeous beyond beauty.
There's just so much. There's so much backstory to this game. I'm really having a hard time keeping track of it in my head.
Draped in ancient sadness. Are you sure you want to remember this bit of historic trivia? Standing under a long, slender form like this, dwarfed?
Yes! Big bummer! Boring history! Gotta keep it light, man! Keep it moving! Get fucked up instead!
Okay, what else? Was she smart?
Terribly. Women of the court were expected to play both contract bridge and chess, sufficiently well to prove an interesting challenge to a man. A simple grasp in matters of philosophy, theology, and science was encouraged. She was, by all means, a kept woman. She made the most of her position in the antediluvian court, a court visited by the most prominent thinkers and artists of the day. In secret, she was becoming the era's preeminent philosopher of the state, a scalpel, a piercing gaze. She was an almost preternaturally magnetic and intelligent individual. To her contemporaries, she appeared out of time, a messenger from the future of the species. We all fell in love with her, head over heels. Even before she was declared an innocence, her influence was tremendous.
How come?
It was on her advice that Irene Le Navigateur sponsored a number of voyages into the Pale. A costly, often tragic endeavor, ultimately vindicated by the discovery of the new world, the piece of reality you're standing on.
The new world. Okay. So the Pale is just like the unknown, right?
She was crowned 2 years after the first expedition returned, setting in motion what is widely considered the greatest era in history.
I said wow.
The DeLorean era.
So wow.
Wow indeed. When her innocence was declared, and the queen she had advised for years fell on her knees before her, she was so overcome with emotion that her lungs started glowing in her chest.
I guess that's where the lungs come from.
Bystanders reported golden filaments lighting the already sunlit chamber around her, clearly visible beneath her dress.
And is that supposed to be the queen? Yeah. So this must be that representation of that.
That is why the lungs are the symbol of love for the cultures of the real
belt. Wait, what exactly is an innocence? I've heard of the system.
The highest category of historic individual, an embodiment of the world spirit.
A ruler?
More. An innocence is elected to office by the founding party, a precedent that has taken place a mere 6 times in the entirety of history.
Oh, okay.
The legal system of the Real Belt is built to accommodate inauthentic rule should it coincide with our time.
What a strange term for that, innocence.
An innocence is infallible. The decisions made by one are not decisions. They are inevitabilities. What would have happened anyway? Only accelerated, packed into decades instead of centuries. An innocence is a continuous, compressed event, a sacred human being. It is an honor and a glory to live when one is in office.
Is one in office now?
No, we are alone.
Well, if there's a job available, where do I apply? Okay, when did she rule?
300 years ago, in the wake of the discovery of this Isola, the Insulindian, by explorers from the continent of Muindi. She is, among other things, the innocence of inter-isolary travel and the connected world.
The new world. I want more.
As did we all. The lands of the Mesk and the Occident, and even far away Supra-Muindi, altogether 21 of the 40 mundial nations of the time, immediately accepted inauthentic rule, even before her crowning.
Her crowning?
In a city called Advesperaskit in Vespa Messina, her homeland, the name of the city means evening comes, but it happened on a winter's morning, with the canals frozen and slush falling out of the sky. She was dressed in a white and pearl dress on an emptied-out plaza with the crowd far away. Already, her Theriers, the secret servicemen of the Innocents, were worried about an assassination attempt.
She must have been beautiful.
Oh yes, she looked like humanity's young mother, a perfect mother, insultingly beautiful. It was as if her face and shoulders and hands were covered in a soft down of underfeathers. You know this well, very well. Midwinter snow was beating the cobblestones around her. A small attaché of officials stood by as her Theriers placed a white gold wreath on her head. The crowning was mostly witnessed by Secret Servicemen.
Then what?
One of the men in this Secret Service
Oh.
killed her 22 years later. A young man who had come to suspect that Dolores Day was not entirely human, but something else.
What?
Something that had walked in our midst, watching us stumble for hundreds, if not thousands of years, until it decided to interfere in the course of our history. We were supposed to come up with this ourselves. The man was reported to have screamed at the Innocence.
Oh, man.
Dolores Day was shot in the chest with a fowling piece 8 times. The man, thought to be insane, said he once touched her and her body had been unnaturally warm, like a furnace, and that sometimes, while on duty, he observed her forgetting to breathe for over 10 minutes. This inhuman quality was witnessed by many others as well, glowing lungs and all. It is commonly attributed to mass hysteria and religious psychology.
Was there something terrifying about her?
Terrifying is a term too emotionally charged for your semantic memory, or what remains of it. But terrifying, it's a simple word. She was bad for humanity, and you shouldn't have started thinking about
Oh,
her.
no. No, was there something bad about her? I want to know.
You already do. Although she is often considered to be the greatest human being to ever live, there was something ominous about Dolores Day, constantly surrounded by her Theriers.
I'm loving this story. This is super interesting.
She was the most socially secluded and least self-aware of all the Innocences. Some modern thinkers would consider her a war criminal for the campaigns she waged against the Mesk state. And then there were the resettlement programs.
What happened?
The Mesk state tried to detach itself from Innocentic rule. Parts of the world were experiencing whiplash from accelerating into secularism. Her mandatory education programs and mass resettlement of upstream Marguerite were problematic as well. Dissenters were suppressed by a military force she called the Army of Humanity,
Okay.
suggesting those who fight against it are not part of humanity. She adored chess, yes, but also military war games. Dolores Day often holds a tiny tin soldier between her index finger and thumb in icons such as this. She was also blonde, the blondest woman you have ever seen, with green eyes the color of the Pacific, mare interregnum. Little is known of her Marchese husband. It's as if he vanished from history after completing his role, which was to introduce Dolores Day to court. In conclusion, yes, there is something lonely, paranoid, and even terrifying that people seldom mention, but feel when they think of her. This subtle terror is part of her iconography.
Jesus, this is super heavy.
Lieutenant Yefrater, you've stood there for over 5 minutes.
The lieutenant's calm voice echoes the cold air of the church.
What are you thinking of, if I may ask?
She's somehow connected to the case. Glowing lungs. That's fucked up. She's beautiful. She's not human. She's somehow connected to the case.
She's been dead for 300 years. I am almost 1,000% certain she isn't connected to the case.
You can't be 1,000% certain, Kim. You can't be more than 100% certain. Takes his glasses off to clean them.
None of this is, in fact. This church, the coast, this isn't a good place to get lost in.
Let's reconstruct the clacked grass.
A jigsaw of broken shards
Double
falls into
sixes.
place in front of you. A ghostly reconstruction of the stained glass window. Before it was shattered, there was an older woman beneath the younger one. And a text. A light motif below them both.
Whoa. Okay. Ghostly reconstruction of the stained glass window. Before it was shattered, there was an older woman beneath the younger one. Yeah, this is. Oh, and she's not If this is supposed to be the queen, she's actually, it looked like she was kneeling, but she's actually sitting below her, facing out, or they are. I don't know. Oh, older woman, right? So it is she. What shattered this mosaic?
Unknown.
Glasses, huh? Just interesting. You don't really see, like, if you think back in our history, you don't see like a monarch like this wearing like glasses.
Something during the raid the lieutenant
I like
mentioned.
it.
Or just hooligans looking for something to break.
Who is this older woman?
The escutcheon on her throne says, Irene the Navigator. She is depicted as an older woman wearing thick-rimmed eyeglasses, holding a golden rights apfel in one hand
What is
and
that?
a scepter in the other. This is the queen her Innocence Day advised.
Ah, okay.
Above, she herself is whole.
What is a Reichsfell? Don't know what that is. So let me know in the comments.
Small figures of wise men, common men, worshippers walk up the stairs to stand at her feet. Secret servicemen, 30 years, stand in a row guarding her. It must have taken years to produce this work in all its dizzying detail.
The motto, what does it say?
Below both women, in luminous black letters, Après la vie, mort. Après la mort, la vie de nouveau.
Which means after life, death. After death, a new life.
And then
Something
along
like
the
that.
left side, Après le monde, la gré. Après le gré, le monde de nouveau.
And that's after the world. I thought gris was gray. Maybe it means like emptiness. And then after the emptiness, the new world. Maybe it's supposed to be the pale. Is le gris the pale in French? Lieutenant, this used to say after life, death. After
Death, life again. After the
pale,
world,
okay.
the pale. After the pale, the world again.
Hmm.
This exaltation is common in Dolorian sacralism. In the early years, it was even incorporated as the RCM slogan. No more, however.
Why?
It was deemed subservient to use a strongly moral intern-related motto. We already suspected of bootlicking. The sentence was also seen as too feminine. It was a macho thing.
Okay. What is the RCM motto now?
Justice, union, prudence, and force.
I like the other one better.
So do I.
Let's step back.
The mother of humanism towers above you, a wax painting on a cracked pane of glass. Nothing has changed in her expression.
Turn away. That was pretty freaking intense. We have some updates. Things we can do. I think it's 1:22, so I think the best thing to do now is to turn in for the night and end the day.